Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a girl in a small town in Latin America. She loves building things, robots, bridges, anything that moves. She dreams of becoming an engineer, but she has never met anyone who looks like her in that field. Now open your eyes. That girl? She was me. Hi, my name is Daniela Reyes, and I am a mechatronics engineering student from Guatemala. Today, I want to talk about how mentorship can shape the future of Latina girls in STEAM and why we need more of it. Let's start with a question. Why are there still so few Latina women in science, technology, engineering, and math? Latina women remain one of the most underrepresented groups in STEAM. In the United States, we make up almost 17% of the workforce, but only 8% of STEAM jobs. And when you look at those with degrees, the number is even smaller. Only about 4% of STEAM bachelor's degrees go to Hispanic women. And what happens in Latin America? About 41% of STEAM graduates are women, which sounds promising, but very few of them actually stayed in STEAM careers. In the ICT sector, only 3 out of 10 employees are women. Globally, women hold just 28% of jobs in science and engineering, while they make up over 70% of the workforce in care and health-related fields. Cultural and social factors, such as lack of female role models, gender stereotypes, family expectations, and declining interest in STEAM during adolescence, limit participation. In the workplace, work-life incompatibility, discrimination in male-dominated environments, and even harassment limit these opportunities. STEAM fields are among the fastest growing and best paid, but female talent remains underutilized, holding back the region's economic potential. Increasing women's access to STEAM education and jobs could boost productivity, wages, and regional development. It's not about lack of talent, it's about lack of access. Access to role models, to safe spaces, and to someone who says, you belong here. And when you never see someone like you in those spaces, it's easy to believe you don't fit in there. Now I want to talk about my personal journey. Since I was little, I always loved playing with Legos. Creating something incredible from tiny pieces was my greatest source of joy. Then I discovered space and robotics, and that's when I realized what I wanted to do with my life. But there was a problem. In every photo, every lunch, every competition I saw, there were only men. I couldn't understand why so many women I knew weren't interested in what fascinated me. It made me feel lost. When I started studying mechatronics engineering, I was both thrilled and terrified. Most of my classmates didn't look like me. I remember sitting in my first class thinking, am I good enough? What if I fail? Maybe this isn't for me. I felt like an outsider in my own dream. And then something shifts. I found a community, a group of Latin American women in STEAM who believed in me before I believed in myself. They didn't just share knowledge, they shared courage. They remind me that my background wasn't a weakness, it was my strength. That is the value of mentorship. Research shows that programs that pair Latina girls with mentors show dramatic changes. Their confidence and leadership grows, and most importantly, the words, I can do this, becomes real. That's the power of mentorship. It turns I wish I could into I know I can. Now I want to talk about belonging. Belonging is essential, and when you find a space where you belong, everything changes. I stopped trying to shrink myself to fit in, and I started showing up, and I realized something powerful. STEAM isn't just about equations or robots or circuits. It's about people, about building together. Now I want to share something that my own mentor, Terry Riley from Red Wire Space, with whom I had the honor of communicating in order to give this talk, told me. She wanted to share with all young Latina women, and I quote, that in a world that is constantly noisy, often pushy, sometimes pausing and listening is louder. In that pause, we find clarity, and in those quiet moments, we can choose words and actions that carry more weight, more grace, and more strength. To find leaders who build you up, help foster those strengths, and create a space for your voice to be heard. So many of you are probably wondering, what can we do? Well, if you're in STEAM, be visible. Be that mentor you wish you had. If you're a student, find your people. Don't wait for permission to take up space. And if you're an educator or a leader, open doors. Make sure no girl has to fight to belong in a space that should have been hers all along. Because when we support Latina girls, we don't just unlock their potential. We're engineering a more inclusive, brilliant future for all.